Aniket, we'll wait for a few more minutes. We'll wait like 3 to 4 minutes and then we'll start. Aniket, can we start?
Yes, Vikas, we can get started.
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. So today's webinar topic is generative AI in action, unlocking opportunities in data science. So before going into the webinar, I will quickly introduce today's speaker. So today's speaker is Mr. Anikit Chabra. He is currently the Director of Technical Product Management, Generative AI in MonAI, with over 13 years of experience in AI, ML, and uh, deep deep learning. He has a good understanding of Gen AI products. He also brings a wealth of expertise in building intelligent data-driven solutions. His journey spans industry giants like PayPal, Fidelity, GE Capital, and ASAPP, where he has worked at the intersection of finance, technology, and product innovation. His skill encompasses predictive modeling, machine learning, and deep learning algorithms. Before handing over the session to the speaker, I would quickly like to give few instructions about this webinar. So this is a listen only mode webinar. So whatever doubts or queries you have regarding the webinar, you can either use the Q&A section, which is present in the menu bar below, or you can use the chat section as well. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Aniket.
Thank you, Vikas. Hi, everyone. Good evening. And thank you for taking out time on a weekday and joining the session. So, as Vikas talked about the agenda, so just to reiterate the point, we are going to talk about Gen AI in action, how actually Gen AI is exploring the role of data science or actually evolving the role of data science, how people are using Gen AI in data science. So this session has three parts primarily. First, we'll explore about like what is exactly data science is. We'll take an example of a project in data science, how the data scientist works on any of the project, and then we'll look at how Gen AI is impacting the data science projects, or especially the data science, like what other skill sets data scientists require in this Gen AI era. Second part, we'll discuss about like the job market or the opportunities that are there, like how the market is growing. It's a small section, but basically, but there is very important section because we are going to talk about like how AI can impact, is actually how like in this era of Gen AI, how the job market looks like. Then the third part um, is the great learnings, course, where like how this course can actually help you to achieve the role that you're looking for, right? So what role you need to aspire and how great learning can help you to get that role in the market is something that we're going to discuss today. So then, and then we'll have a Q&A section, which is like last 10, 15 minutes. We'll try to, give as much time as possible for the Q&A, try to answer all the questions. In case any question is pending, you can always reach out. But the idea is that we encourage you to ask as many questions as possible. Okay. So that's the plan, that's the agenda. With that, let's get started. So let's start with the first section where here we are going to understand like how a data science project flow looks like, right? So imagine a data scientist who is working on a project, what steps he or she takes to complete a project, right? So as you can see from the left side, like what is the first step to work on a data science project? The first step, as you can see, is I would add one more point here is understanding the business problem because that is very important, right? So first step is to understand the business problem. Um, you are actually working with customers and discussing about like how the customer problem can be solved with data science, right? Modeling techniques that we have, how we can solve that. That is the first step. Then you start gathering the data collection part, and then after you gather the data, there are two steps which are like, you know, I mean, we can combine them into one step also, but let's say if you want to go a little deeper. So mainly what you do is the data that you collected might not be in the right format, right structure that you are looking for. So for that, we need to do a bit of EDA, which is called exploratory data analysis, as well as data pre-processing. So correcting the format, there could be some missing value in the data. Data might not be in the right granularity. At the right granularity, we need to fix that granularity. So those things we do here, and then we start like once the data EDA is performed, data is ready for the model, we start building the model part. So then the model development comes. So before model development, there are a couple of steps data scientist has to follow. After the model development, there is a model validation period, which we call it like model tuning, right? So what you try to do is you try to optimize the model. In this step, you can explore multiple algorithms, and then one of the algorithm you finalize, which is the best algorithm for the problem that you're solving for the customer. Then that final model that becomes once you validate the model, that becomes the final model. The final model goes into production, right? So that's how the data science process, flows. Okay. So in case anyone has any question in this, we can answer this in the Q&A, but that's how it works. Right now, let's take an example of very simple example of, let's say, maybe a recommendation engine, right? So let's say you are working in an e-commerce company, take Amazon an example. Now, what does a data scientist do in Amazon, right? First, uh, step is to understand the problem statement. The problem statement here is we need to build a recommendation engine for our products. Let's say the products, fashion products. In the fashion also, let's say maybe some categories are there. Let's you take maybe the top three, four categories which customer might buy. So your goal is to convert the customer, recommend the right products to customers so that customers are like basically are very efficient in buying. Your goal is to make the customer as much efficient as possible, right? And it'll help you also to convert the customer, right? So then what happens is that you um, start with that problem statement, and with that you collect the data. What will be the data? The data will be all the products, right? Maybe some customer level information, like customers have bought what historically. All this data that you look at here, collect the data, structure the data, like basically pre-processing EDA, the data, you need to the format you need to fix, the pre-processing that you have to perform, you perform that, then start building models. There could be multiple algorithms. Let's take an example of a simplest algorithm. It's called collaborative filtering. It's an old algorithm, but still, the market leverages that. So you choose that algorithm, that model algorithm, you actually train it, validate it, tune it, and then that goes in the production. When I say production, it'll go live, and as soon as customer comes on the website, they will be actually getting the recommendations from the model. So let's say customer A model recommends product 1, 2, 3. Then for customer A, product 1, 2, 3 will be visible or will be like visible on the top. And let's say customer B, the products are 4, 5, 6. Then customer B will be seeing the product number 4, 5, and 6. So that's how the recommendation engine works in the backend. The model gets deployed. Okay. I've given you a very high level idea. The idea was not to go deeper, but yes, like this is how you can think of the data science model implementation. Okay. Now the question can come is okay, because since you guys are new in the data science side, so what kind of skill set required to become a data scientist? So there can be many, thoughts here, but primarily three categories are there which are required to become a good, which are like a data scientist should fall in these three categories, right? One skill set categories, I would say. One is that basic mathematical and statistical expertise. So, basic mathematical and statistical expertise meaning that you don't have to be a mathematician or statistician to become a good data scientist, but need to know like how number system works, right? How to analyze data, how to generate insights from the data, extract key insights for the customer. That should be the and in that analytical thinking is required. And from that analytical thinking point of view, we need some math skill and statistical skills, like how to sample the data, how to do the hypothesis testing, right? So maybe some statistical test also you have to perform. That level of statistical knowledge is required, right? So so that is your mathematical and statistical knowledge to become a data scientist. Then you have a business acumen. Now this is business acumen skills are basically are people are actually for people who are experts. Now, business acumen skills are not for like people who are freshers. So when I say experts means like as you gain more experience, you automatically build, strong business acumen. It is not the day one you get the business knowledge. Business knowledge, you become expert in one area, you work in that domain for a couple of years, and then you become an expert in that domain, right? So that's how it works. So it's only applicable to professionals, but yes, sorry, experienced professionals, because they gain the experience over the period of time. So for freshers, this is not applicable, like the skill set is not expected. But again, if you have an interest in one area, you should look for jobs in that domain itself. Then there are technical skills or technology skills, you can call it. So technology skills are two types of skills for a data scientist, or two category of skills. One is called the tools that you need to become a that you need to learn to become a good data scientist. The tools are the first and very important tool is Python, is a programming language. We need to be like actually we need to master that programming skill. I would say from your learning point of view, 8 out of 10 level of I would say scale is required to become a good data scientist. Then you have SQL is another programming language which we need to learn to become a good data scientist. Then there are tools like Tableau, Excel, right? And maybe some organization specific tools that are there. But these four are primary tools: Python, SQL, Tableau, and Excel. These tools are very important to become a good data scientist, right? Then, apart from the tool, there's a technology side or technical skill side, which is the machine learning techniques, right? So, what are those techniques? There are modeling techniques. For example, in the previous page, I was talking about the collaborative filtering. That was one machine learning modeling technique. Like that, there are other techniques in the classification, in the regression, supervised learning, unsupervised learning. So, those type of skills are required to become um, a data scientist, right? So on the technology skill side, this is what you need. So mathematical and statistical knowledge as a foundation, business acumen you build over the period of time, and technology skills tool level and then technique level is something that we need to know. If you combine all these three, you become a data scientist. Like these are the skills required to become a data scientist. Okay, I hope that I clarified this one. Anyone has any questions on this particular slide, please ask questions on that. So based on that, let's say you acquired the skill, you understand the flow, what kind of roles you should look for in the market. Only two of the roles are applicable. Data engineering role is not applicable to us because that's more on the engineering side. But for the two roles that are applicable, like what kind of role, what are these two roles and how we can apply? All right. So if you can see that here, data scientist and business analyst. Business analysts are also called data analysts. There's no difference between them. But analytics and data science, there is a fundamental difference. Um, I'll tell you the difference is, so business analyst and data analyst are actually um, they actually work with customers on the analytics side of the data. Analytical thinking, which I was giving example of maths and statistical thinking, right? So you don't primarily work on the modeling side, like your primary responsibility is not modeling. Like you don't need to learn the techniques, the classification and regression per se to become a data analyst. But if you know them, it'll be easier for you to transition to data science in future in case if you want to. So for you, the mandatory skills are learning tools like SQL, Tableau, and Excel, and then analyzing data, right? Analyzing data means like generating insights from the data, let's say generating dashboards, reports. These are the primary responsibility for a data analyst or business analyst. Once you become a data scientist responsibility more on the modeling side, predictive modeling, machine learning algorithms, collaborative filtering that I talked about, other classification algorithms, regression algorithms, supervised learning, unsupervised learning. So more on the technique side. So, um, so those are the skills required to become a data scientist. So that's the difference between the data scientist and data analyst. And the tools also, like they focus more on Python and SQL than Tableau and Excel, which is data analyst focuses on. And like again, salary wise, there might be some differences, not much though, right? It's not that the analytics is like something, it's a very popular role, very relevant role in the industry. And in terms of money, also, there's hardly a difference unless the data scientist, specializes in certain skills, which are research background and all. Okay. These are the two roles that are applicable for people who are, let's say, doing this course. They can apply any of these two roles based on your fitment. So let's say if you come from a technical background, very good in programming, can handle Python language learning, right? So you should look for data scientist role. But let's say if you're more towards business, do not want to get too technical, but solving customer problem, business problem, then business analyst or data analyst could be the path for you. Now the question comes is that how Gen AI is changing this space, right? So Gen AI, you know that since 2022, we have seen there is a significant shift that happened in the tech industry. Uh, AI is becoming a platform, and Gen AI is a technology that is enabling, this platform capability. Now, what do we mean by this platform? A lot of tools and applications are being built on this AI platform. The underlying technique of this platform is called the LLMs, large language models. And now they are multimodal models and all these things, but primarily the technology, the foundation is the large language models. So then the large language models actually are doing tasks which we have not been able to do so far. What do I mean by that? The difference between a data scientist, data science and Gen AI is that in data science, the example that I gave in the recommendation, right? So what are you trying to do? You're taking historical data and trying to optimize the predictions, trying to predict the, data for the future via an optimization way. So there is a mathematical function that works in the backend that is optimizing the this path where you are able to predict the, let's say, customer will buy this product, that product, because historically customer has bought this kind of product. That is what you're trying to predict here, right? Similar, let's say, a fraud detection engine. So you can say that, okay, historically this customer has this history, customer has not done any frauds, customer has limited, exposure to risk, customer is not risky, or customer is risky. So these kind of conclusions you make based on the data, predictions that you make based on the data that you, that's a machine learning predictive problem. Generative AI solve the generative, text problem, text generation problem. Meaning that, let's say, for example, you use, let's say, Chat GPT. What Chat GPT is doing is you're asking Chat GPT a question, it is giving you the answer. The question can be about any topic, right? Most likely it will be able to, or fairly it will be able to give you most likely a fair answer. So when I say fair answer means highly accurate answer, not be, it could not be a perfect answer, but then highly accurate answer you can expect from a Chat GPT. So then what it is doing, it is actually looking at your query, which is your question that you're asking, and then it is generating the text, the answer, based on the lot of historical data it is trained upon, or based on the, and that historical data contains these kind of words or the questions, that you have asked. So in that way, it's more like a generation problem. It is also a predictive problem fundamentally, but more like a generation way. To you, it is like token by token, word by word prediction that it is making. So, for example, let's say if you want to ask ChatGPT, can you help me writing an email? It will write an email based on the subject that you're giving to it. If you ask ChatGPT to write a code for you, it will write a code for you. So it solves like generative problems that are there in the technology world. That is why it is becoming a like it's becoming a platform, because on top of it you can build a lot of applications. Let's say, for example, you want to build a chatbot. That chatbot, how it will be built? When customer comes to the chatbot, the AI will generate the answer of the questions the customer are asking, right? Let's say maybe there is an interview, a tech platform. There is an AI interview note, interview taker. What interviewer will do is actually like it'll ask you a question, you will give the answer, and then it'll evaluate your answer and give them the score, right? Give you the score, or let's say, it becomes like a AI interview taker. There could be AI tutor also, right? So instead of me, let's say you're listening to this lecture from an AI tool, right? Because it is able to generate that. So the tasks which are like so far like predictive in nature, now there are a lot of other tasks which are generative in nature are solved by Gen AI. Okay. So it is what exactly it is doing. It is working as a platform, and a lot of applications are being built or will be built on this technology, right? The question is then how these technologies are available to us. As I mentioned, these are available to us via APIs, and then tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, right? Llama, these kind of, platforms are enabling us to, when we can go to their websites and then, have a chat with them, right? So they are available via either APIs. We can call the direct like APIs of these models in the enterprise use case individually. As a customer use case, direct use case, we can always go to these apps and use them directly. Then you have, as I said, application, right? Customer support chatbot, edtech platforms. So a lot of applications are being built using this technology. Okay. And then, you can also like build your own models. You can tune them based on your uses like that. That depends like how we are using Gen AI. So I'll not go into like, much deeper here because uh, again, because since this is an introductory class, I wanted to keep it very abstract, but happy to answer if you have any specific questions on that can ask. So that's how Gen AI is changing the data science world. So then definitely it is expected that we are supposed to learn this, because this will be part of the data science technical knowledge workflow. How to use Gen AI, how to, because it will improve the productivity of the data scientist. Right now, data scientists can actually build complex model using Gen AI, right? Okay. So yes. Now let's talk about like, so this is how the Gen AI like actually working or impacting the data science workflow. In terms of the now let's move to the second part, which is the job market, like how the job market looks like currently. So the job market currently looks like, you can see here that there is a 26% CAGR expected in the global like data science job market, which means that every 3 years, I think, almost the jobs are getting doubled, or double the amount of data scientists are required to perform the task, because data volume is increasing. And data volume is increasing means more data is there, and then more data analysts, right? Of course, like data scientists will use AI also, Gen AI tools as well, but we'll keep analyzing more and more data, right? So that way the job market is still growing, right? In fact, a lot of, as I said, AI is work, I mean, coming as a new, Gen AI is coming as a new platform. So in that platform, a lot of applications are being built, and those applications, like we need data scientists also, we need data analysts also, we need Gen AI scientists also to work on these applications, right? Build these applications. So that's why the job market is growing. In terms of the job numbers, if we talk about actual numbers, the trends, you can see that by 2026, next year, there'll be like 1.15 crore jobs will be there globally. In India, this number is going to go by 3 times in the eight period of time, 2022 to 2030. In the 8 year time period, the job market will grow like the number of job will be by 300%. Okay. Now, as a career path, right? So, of course, like there are different career paths. As I said, like there are multiple roles here. What you can choose, right? So, there are mainly three areas here, right? So, let me start with the engineering side. So, let's say if you want to, if you're more towards technology or come from BTech background, right? So, there are a couple of roles you can always explore, right? And you're very much interested in the ML sciences or let's say Gen AI. So ML engineer and AI engineer are two paths that you can explore. AI engineers are people who use Gen AI technology. ML engineers are people who use machine learning technology or basically deploying these applications who are based on machine learning. AI engineers deploy the applications who are developed on Gen AI technology. People who are data scientists, you can see here, data scientist is a role, research executive are basically people from data science or core, machine learning or Gen AI side. These are the people who are researchers who build these models, right? Whether it's a large language model, whether it's a small language model, or whether it's a, let's say, a machine learning model, all this is built by the research scientists and data scientists or Gen AI scientists also, right? Then you have analytics or analysts, which are data analysts, as I said, business analyst, manager analytics, analytics consultant are people who are more towards analytics side. Business analyst, data science, sorry, the data, right, manager analytics. So these are the people on the analytics side. I already told you the experience between the difference between the analytics and data science. So what is the difference? But then there are like few roles, are there on both sides. So that's how you can choose. So people who are coming from engineering definitely can explore ML and AI engineer role. People who are coming from data science, again engineering background, but more towards more lean towards the or inclined towards the programming language like Python and and R SAS, they can look for data scientist roles. And people who are more on the analytics side, less on the technical side, more on the business side, can actually explore opportunities as a data analyst, business analyst, report manager analytics and analytics consultant. Manager analytics is basically a senior role where you become little senior, you become that kind of you know um, you fall in that managerial category, the band. Okay, any clarity required on this one also, please reach out in the, I mean, you can ask a question in the Q&A. Uh, so, and then now we have a, let's talk about the career path. Like what career paths are available? Let's say if you join this, industry. So in this industry, what career path um, do you choose? Um, to what kind of like what is the career path that is available, right? So if you look at it, let's start from the top left, 0 to 2 years. These are entry level roles in the data science world, right? Or it could be data analyst side also, right? Here you primarily work on like with mentors, who are there to help you to build, data science models, analysis, right? It could be Gen AI side also, but primarily at the basic, you do the basic stuff along with someone. You support mostly in the project because you're fresher actually. Sometimes, depends upon the role to role as well, company to company. Like you could be part of also customer, facing roles, but that depends on the organization. Then slowly and steadily you start becoming independent. So your career grows from 2 to 5 years of time, time period. Here depends again, you might work individually as an IC role, or you can also work with some, other, team member on a maybe a complex project, right? Or bigger project or impactful project. So, but here also like you don't face customers directly, but you're part of a bigger team, you're working on a project, and then you always like take certain portion of the project and you work on that project. Let's say, for example, you might be working on a model building part, but then the other things around the model, like packaging the model, presenting the model, is the your manager's responsibility primarily. Or sometimes your responsibility also, as I said, it depends upon organization to organization. Sometimes you get a good exposure within 5 years as well. But don't worry about that too much. That's not important. It's primarily like whether you are learning, whether you're able to get an opportunity to build something on your own or not. That is more important. Exposure is not that, important at this stage. Then it is 5 to 10 years of time period. Now here you start taking projects independently, right? So in terms of like, it could be customer management, it could be, let's say, project management. So building the models end to end, driving the project, right? Those responsibilities are there on you, and you take that responsibility independently, right? And in this a time period, you can become a manager also, which means that you might be handling a team as well if required. Then you have 10 to 15 years of bucket, which is now depends, like it's a bigger bucket. So here you become a leader as well, senior manager to director plus kind of roles, which are there where you lead a vertical also, or like could be a bigger team, right? Multiple products as well, multiple projects as well. At one point in time you assign the roles, the projects, etc. So like that, this is the career path. Again, it might vary organized to organization, but high level, this is what you can like take away from the slide, is that there are different like areas. But in all this level of experience that you saw, technical knowledge is required. So data scientists and data analysts both are technical roles. You need to be sound in technical, the tools, the technology that I talked about too, especially in Gen AI space also, like it's very much required that you are able to understand the nuances of the data, and the tools, etc. Okay, hope that clarifies. um, Okay, let's now move to the great learning part, the third. This is the last section. So where I'm going to talk about like how to achieve that path, the career path that we talked about, or let's say the Gen AI technology that we talked about, then data science algorithms that I talked about, like how great learning can help you achieving that. Like, so how great learning has built that structured program which can help you to achieve that, right? So starting with great learning as a brand. So it's a you can I mean, you already would be knowing this. They're the largest, one of the largest edtech company in India, as well as I think globally also. They have their very well known brand. um, there are like more than 12 million plus learners. There are more than 18,000 career transitions have happened through across the courses, of course. 4,000 plus companies are hiring partners for great learning. There are 400 million hours of learning has been delivered to students. And not only in India, you can see that great learning is actually providing certificates, partnering with diplomas, certificates that you get, are partnering with other universities as well. You can see Northwestern University globally, Walsh College, John Hopkins University, Texas, University of Texas in Austin, which is the program also, this program as well is partnering with. So you actually get a certificate, dual certificate from both from the University of Texas at Austin as well as Great Learning. Okay. Um, so what is new in this course, right? So this course, first of all, is called PGP Data Science, which is postgraduate program in data science. This course has two parts. The one part is already the traditional like AI ML part, the data analyst and data science part. So all the skills that are required for you to become data scientist and data analyst are covered. Tools, techniques, business skills, the statistical knowledge, the mathematical knowledge, if you remember the page that I was talking about. And the additional things that is added is called the Gen AI side, which is actually like how to use Chat GPT, the prompt engineering, right? How to write a prompt to get the to get the desired answer, right? Especially how Gen AI can actually help you automating the workflows in data science. That's something that you'll also learn about it, right? So how to tackle complex problems using Gen AI is something that is covered in the course. Okay, so Gen AI has been a separate module here this time, so that people who are going to the market, if there are questions on Gen AI, the knowledge on Gen AI, you should be having that knowledge. Apart from that, this course is more like the way it is structured is more like a workshop rather than just a theoretical like course that is there. Of course, there are recorded lectures which are there, but the primary focus has been on hands-on learning, which means that there are gurus or there are mentors who are part of this project who are part of this course. Along with you, they will also working with you on hands-on projects. So every module ends up with a hands-on case study, and like that you have like not only one case study, there are multiple case studies in one in one module. So after 1 year, you actually have on an average 3 to 4 case studies in one module in 1 month. So in 1 year, you actually end up doing more than 50 plus case studies or 60 plus case studies in the overall program. Apart from case study, there are hackathon projects, there are capstone project that you complete, right? And there are again, as I said, number of tools are immense. Like you have, all the skills related to data science skills, like the tools, the technology, the mathematical stage, statistical. Every module has like, I mean, all of these skill sets have separate modules, and each module tenure is 1 month approximately. So then you actually get 11 to 12 months of full time period, of learning all these tools and technologies together, both in a theoretical way, and there's a practical, as I said, there are case studies via case studies. So the overall the program is about 12 months, as I mentioned, 600 hours of online content that is there. 22 plus tools are there. I'll cover those tools in the next couple of slides. And this actually ranked number 3 across the globe in the business analytics course, data analyst and business analyst course. And the way the course is structured is peer to peer learning. You're part of a group, and there is a group mentor who is also like industry mentor, who's actually working the person, I mean, who is a person who is working in the industry. Uh, and then the way the groups are formed are actually aligning your experience with the mentor's experience. So, in a way, this designed or structured in a peer to peer learning way, right? And as I said already, that's fully hands-on program. So you learn by doing, not just by like theoretically learning. Then right. So now that what is there in the curriculum? Just to go in the details of the curriculum, I just highlight the curriculum, not go into the full details. But you can see that Python for data science, separate module for Python. Assuming that you guys don't know Python, you come as a day zero, and then from day zero onwards, you start learning Python. There is a module on SQL, right, which are the two important skills, the key skills to become a data scientist. Introduction to Gen AI module, Tableau for your data analyst skills, and then machine learning 1, 2, you can see unsupervised learning. All these are machine learning technology. The techniques are there that we need to learn. Statistics, you can see, right, is also there for your again foundational skills, mathematical and statistical skills. Apart from that, business acumen, you can see business analytics modules, career assistance, right, and deep learning modules as well. So these you learn from a business point of view as well. Okay. And these are the languages and tools. As I said, there is a case study based projects, peer to peer networking, hackathon, capstone project. So you do a lot of projects in this course to learn actually these techniques thoroughly. Okay. So with that, I think I've covered like all the three sections of this of the session today agenda, and now we'll move to the Q&A. So I would encourage you to ask as many questions as you can ask. So please go ahead and ask questions. Anything you want more clarity, happy to answer that.
Aniket, there is one question in the Q&A section.
Yeah. um Okay, so somebody's asking that is should I learn Tableau or Power BI sufficient? See, both of these are substitute tools. So if you learn one, you don't need to learn the other one. So that is fine. That if you are, I mean, if it's fine, it's actually fine. If you are good with Power BI, then you don't need to learn, Tableau. It could happen that one of the organization might prefer Tableau, but you can always tell them that that Power BI sufficiently. Show them your projects, and that should, I think, that should be okay with the organization as far as my knowledge, unless somebody is very specific, we need Power BI only. That's a different you know uh, uh, concern. But that's, I would say that most of the organizations are okay with whether Tableau or either like one of the two tools. Okay. I hope that answers the
Um,
question.
Yes, Aniket, I think that is all for questions.
Oh, there are no other questions?
Uh, no, no, Ankit, that's it. We can wait for 1 more minute.
Yeah, sure.
Um, Guys, if you have any doubt, you can uh, put it in the chat section as well if you can't access the Q&A section. And I have shared this form. So in this form, let's say you wanted to discuss about the fee of the program, or if you want to discuss about the more about the curriculum or the structure of the program, or if you are interested in any other programs that is provided by Great Learning, or if you want the recording of this video, um, right, anything you can just mention it in the feedback form, and we will get back to you with the recording link or the PPT that you need. Uh, um, I don't see any other questions, Aniket. I think that's all.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Aniket. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
So, hey everyone, I'm just mentioning it one more time that I'm sharing this Google Forms. So if you, let's say if you want the slides that is presented right now, or if you want the recording links, right, of this webinar, any suggestions or anything about the fee structure or the course structure, or if you are interested in any other programs like AI/ML, Gen AI, or cloud related programs, anything you can just mention it in this Google form, and our team will get back to you with all the required answers, right? Uh, Okay, Akram Aman, so what to switch career from civil engineer to IT? Yes, so the main objective of this program is actually career transition rather than a career upskill, right? Because people might, can be in any domain, but doing this course will help them to transition their career from any domain to data science domain, right? So this, if you see this program is uh, mainly made for the working professionals. So the classes are on weekends only. It's live classes conducted by the professors from that particular university, whichever the course is affiliated to, right? So once you did this course, you will get a certificate from Great Learning and also from the affiliated university, right? So it's very helpful to do a career transition. We also have a lot of people who have had a career transition before, right? So if let's say if you want to look at the program page, you can mention that in the Google form as well. We'll send you the program page where all the testimonials of the people who had career transition before, right, are available in the program page, so you can see that. So whatever any other questions that you have, can just post it in this Google form, so that even if this meeting ends, right, we can still email you with all the answers that you need. Actually, use the the batch date, like the starting date of the course differs batch to batch. So once one batch gets over, we start the other batch. Okay. So as I mentioned, you can just fill this form and give your query in the suggestion list. So we'll email you all the details regarding when the next batch starts, when the uh, you know what about the fees and the brochure and everything, we will share you in the email, right? Because if I tell you, it will take a lot of time. To give a just an overview, we have a lot of programs. We have a Gen AI program that is mainly for business professionals, which focuses more into Gen AI tools only rather than coding. And we have one more Gen AI program that has collaboration with Microsoft, which gives you access to Microsoft OpenAI as well. And we also have AI/ML program in affiliation with University of Texas at Austin. Even this postgraduate in data science with generative AI program has an affiliation with the University of Texas at Austin. So you will be getting a dual certification from uh, both Great Learning and also University of Texas at Austin, right? So let's say you are filling the form regarding the admission process, that will be also shared with you, right? So whatever information that you need, filling up this form is very important, right? I will just wait for like 5 more minutes and then we can end the webinar. Please take this time to ask your queries in the form. If you have any more queries, I can answer. You can just mention it in the Q&A section. If anyone needs the recording of the webinar, that will be also available. Please mention it in the um, Google form. We will send you the recording link of this webinar. If you joined late and if you missed the initial part, we can do that as well. Okay. So about placement assistance, so we don't provide you proper placements like they do it in universities, right? We don't, conduct interviews and all, but we do have placement assistance, right? We placement support we help you in resume optimization. We help you with LinkedIn profile optimization. Some we help you with portfolio creations, and we also have one-to-one mock interviews kind of things. So there are a lot of things available, but we don't bring a company and then we ask you to go and sit for interviews. So that kind of placements where it happens in the universities, like for students like that, it won't happen. But we do provide placement support. Okay. Okay. I think all the um, tools which were mentioned, right? Everything is openly available, is what am aware of. So if any of the tool which is mentioned in the curriculum that needs a premium subscription, that will be provided, right? If such tools are there in the curriculum, we will be providing you with premium subscription so that you can use the tool to the full efficiency, right? If the tools doesn't require premium subscription, it is open. I think mostly we will be doing Python related projects. So it will, of course you have access to Google Colab. You have a VS Code, you have Cursor if you want an AI integration. So you have a lot of open platforms to um, learn data science basically. So if any premium tool that is mentioned in the curriculum, then of course the subscription will be provided. Okay. So this course will mostly have a lot of hands-on trainings, right? So it won't be a fully theoretical kind of certificate. This is like a proper postgraduate course. Okay, so you will have projects to do. You will have capstone projects where you will, form a group and you will be making projects. You will be presenting your projects in front of all the learners, right? So it will be mostly hands-on only, right? You will have no, you will be taught Python, all analytics techniques, all data science algorithms that is necessary, right? Yes, yes, the session is done. We can leave. Just waiting for people to fill this form. So people who didn't fill this form can fill. Or if you have any other queries, you can put it in the chat section. I will wait for 2 more minutes. Rest can leave. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, I think that is about the questions and doubts. Thank you so much, guys. You can even copy this form and fill it later as well, right? Thank you so much for joining.